That's who we are. The best on the planet. Unbelievable.
I love that. It's what I love.
First of all, before we go into Motherwell, just want to say about Greg Taylor, mate. That's why the boys call him Oxwell, because he's absolutely different gravy.
You look as if you've just come straight away for the Green Brigade.
Aye, we'd have meeting at 6:30, mate. Yes, good evening. We're back with a Celtic Unrestricted View, and it's myself, JP. Well, what a cracker I've got tonight for you folks. We've got my good man here, Mr. Andy Gray, the podcast, aka Ryan. How are we, mate? Not seen you. I've not been on for, when was it, last Thursday? So, aye, it's good to be on. Nice to see your big smiling face, mate. And as you can see, everybody, we are still wearing hoodies due to this wee problem that we have surrounding Glasgow. Yes, folks, as you guessed right, it is -9 in Glasgow at the moment. It's quite fitting that, Ryan, that wee 40 that we've got there. It's -9 and it's -9 above the big goose as well. So, it's all good, mate. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you've had a nice weekend. It's good to see you again.
Aye, all good, mate. Smiling as usual. Celtic, good performance, mate. So, like you say, still top of the league, flying. So, all good, mate. Interesting draw, which I know we'll get on to during the night. So, I'm looking forward to chatting to you again, mate. Seeing your happy face, like you say, mate. We're freezing. It's snowing. It's -9. What else do we want?
Aye. There's actual... I've heard that Hattati and Jota built about 6 snowmen between them, and they've been taking free kicks to try and see who's got the best and the most pinpoint accuracy out of the two of them. And apparently Jota's not even had a goal once yet, so I think that one at Real Madrid in the Bernabeu was a flick, mate.
Let's be fair, I think it was a fluke, wasn't it?
Aye, definitely. It was one of the ones as well. You knew as soon as it hit his, you knew as soon as it left his boot where it was going. You knew it was going goal bound. But mate, the reason we're on tonight is to have a wee chat about Celtic finding out their Scottish Cup semi-final fate. Let's be honest, mate, we kind of knew it was going to happen. There was no way on this earth they were going to allow Celtic to go into a final against our rivals, knowing that we could potentially win the domestic treble. I don't think they were going to allow that, mate, do you?
No, really, mate, no. Again, I think for the Scottish football TV and maybe the media and the pundits and the Scottish FA would have wanted that final for, obviously, the spectacle of Scottish football, and maybe as a neutral fan, it'd be amazing to watch, and especially if we were potentially going for a treble and obviously potentially end up stopping a treble. So the interest would have been frightening, mate. But again, getting a semi-final draw, it's still the potential of getting to a final to potentially, and I use that word potentially because it's still a wee bit away. It's nothing in football with a certainty. So potentially, mate, you're maybe borderline looking at a treble. I know me and Jason spoke about it the other night. I know a lot of fans don't want to mention it, but you've kind of got to mention it because you're only 2 games away, and maybe only a few games in league away from it. So, but again, we've seen loads of things happen in football, mate. Nothing as easy as it sounds. So, but I think in terms of the draw, mate, I don't think it was ever going to be a Celtic Rangers final. I just think it was. I just don't think it would have happened, mate. We were all kind of expecting that draw, and also it gives Falkirk and Inverness a shot to get to a final as well.
Aye, massively. I think that's the first time Falkirk have been at Hampden for a long time. Potentially if they won the cup. They won the Scottish, didn't they? Can't remember what year it was, but I'm sure they won the Scottish Cup.
Probably when I was probably still my mom's tummy at the time, mate.
I think you were still a wee twinkle in your dad's eye, mate, to be honest with you, that time.
I don't think I was made by then, mate.
No, it was definitely, and I'm not even, I might be going back a wee bit, but I'm not even too sure if the tellies were in colour. No, I'm only kidding. It's after that. I remember it was, I think it's in the 90s. I'm sure Falkirk won the Scottish. I might be wrong. I could be having here, and everybody here's going to come in the comments and tell me. But I'm sure Falkirk won the cup. Inverness, obviously, certainly. They won it, didn't they? Under Big Yogi Hughes.
What, the Scottish Cup?
Did they not win the Scottish as well?
I think they did, mate. I did.
There we go, my good man. Patrick McLaughlin, glad you can join us. Patrick has just come in and says Falkirk lost in the final versus Kelly. Cheers, Patrick. I actually knew they were definitely in the final. I knew that.
I'm sure Inverness won it under John Hughes. I'm sure that. Sure.
That was a man that beat us with the handball the whole world saw, apart from that guy behind the goal.
That was it, and it probably denied. Mate, it just shows you things that happen in football. That denied Ronnie Dyer a treble. And who's
because Ryan Christie was with him at the time as well.
So it just shows you, mate, things that obviously with Inverness denied Dyer a treble. Who's to say it been about Celtic longer? That it's three small things, in my opinion, mate. It's three small things like that decide managers, futures, players. This is why big VAR's a topic, mate, and this is why things, i.e. referees, need to be better, or VAR's got to help in certain ways, or it's got to help and or get better as well with people that use the technology, because these silly mistakes or fibbles, red cards, or whatever you want to call it, these can determine people's livelihoods, people's jobs, as in if they're going to go up or down, are they going to get sacked, or they're going to have to get released. Football players, it could determine their futures, i.e. they're maybe going to get elsewhere because they've won that trophy. Managers like Dyer, a year later, he's no ways, basically, because obviously, I'm not saying because of that, but you can't really then go and sack a manager that's won a treble year before. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of things that can happen, but that's another thing, mate, that referees, another highlighted thing happened years ago. It's not changed.
No, I definitely know, mate, and it looks like you've got a wee stalker here, Ryan. Plunge decided to say that you were just a pup, mate, and you were 4. So when that happened,
I was probably eating Easter eggs after Christmas trees and that at that time, mate.
Going with the way Plunge is talking, he must have been at your birthday party or something at least. I'm not too sure, maybe.
Telling you, man, you can tell my he's rattled. I just said Easter eggs at Christmas, man.
He has mentioned before that he ate cold beans, so was he not the one that ate or the... He must have been the one that was underneath the table that day you were telling me about, mate. Obviously, Ryan's told me, Plunge, your secret's out of the bag, mate, to be honest with you. But no, Patrick's came back with us as well. They also put us out the cup in '93 at Brockville. Right. A horror show that day. He was there, Patrick was there with his old man. I remember that one. I was a young boy as well. I was born in '84, Patrick, so I vaguely remember that. Because I was at the Rafe Rovers defeat when we get beaten penalties as well.
That should just let everybody know your fault is to get you. Paul
McStay, aye. I'm not having a party, Plunge, so you'll not be getting any cold beans that day, mate. I'm afraid. Sorry, but No, you're right with the refs, Ryan. Nothing has changed, mate. It's still the same people. But see, potentially, mate, I think, like, obviously this semi-final, right? And we were all talking in the chat, and we were all saying that you would love them in the final because we know what they're like when their back's to the wall, and when there's a pressurised moment, quite a lot of their team are littered with kind of serial bottlers. It's been proven. It's been shown and proven, right? So we kind of spoke, and we says that if we get them in the final, then if we were to turn up in that final, you're probably going to win with a great shout of winning that treble because they obviously we know that they would be right up for it as well. But and I know, mate, and everybody else watching us knows now that if we're there and we're on the A game, it's a foregone conclusion, mate, what happens on the day. I actually heard a wee video clip today, and it's obviously off another podcast or whatever, it's a phone in or whatever it's off. I actually had to listen to it twice, Ryan, because
Is this the one you sent me?
I don't know if it was that one, it was another one. When I tell you can let me know. I genuinely thought I had been on a glue listening to the guy talking, right? And he comes away with, the guy comes to him, like the way I'm speaking to you now, and he lets him talk. And then this guy comes in and he says, no, I totally believe it's a game of football. We'll beat them, and man for man, we're better than them. Now, I don't know if this guy, right, and it's a shame, right? I don't know if this guy has all of a sudden just woke up out of a cocoon, or he's maybe fell asleep before the game kicked off in the final, drunk, and couldn't handle his bevy, and maybe somebody's woke him up and no told him the result. And he still thinks, for some reason, that they're actually a better team than us. Like, he's obviously not been told that the outcome of the final. He's obviously not been told the outcome of the game at Celtic Park. He's obviously not been told the fact that they've no beat us this season. But yet, man for man, they're a bit. Now, I'm dreading the day somebody says to him, just say his name's Davy, right? Somebody says, Davy, you need to look at the league table. Can you imagine what he's going to do or what's going to happen? Because I'll tell you what, mate, he's going to need a big box series. Because, my goodness, he's in for a rude awakening when he actually sees what's in front of him. It is mental, Ryan, that these people are still coming away with this kind of, like, help me out, man. Like, how can you get serious? This is a mob that turned up to games with loaf packets on their head. Do you know what I mean? How can we be serious about this? Like, I just don't know. This is a crowd that went into the town to guard statues. To stand in the rain at George Square. I don't know. I know you're laughing, mate, but I don't know, mate. Maybe I need to go and see my GP. Maybe it's me. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I don't know.
No, but banter aside, mate, right? See if we played in the cup final, right? You've got to have faith in your team to turn up for a cup final. Just potentially say we were looking at a treble, right? Just for talk's sake, we were, and it was the league was just about nearly done. We were maybe 12 points ahead, or it was still 9 points in our final. No, sorry, the semi-final, and then you beat them, and you get to the final, you beat them. Play them in the final before the game. There's going to be a lot of talk about the game, which is usual with these type of games. Obviously, the other team's going to believe they've got the best team. They're going to try and win and be the same night. But you've got to look at facts. Banter aside, and I'm laughing at the loaf packets and Kashinya were in the bushes and this and that. Listen, it's
banter.
the
other one. Danny's having a wee good laugh here and not the loaf packets as well. Evening, Danny. Cheers for joining us, mate.
Cheers for joining, mate. Listen, it's funny and banter, and obviously at the time,
By the way, I was trying to be serious here.
No,
I didn't fabricate that either. That actually happened.
Serious. Aye, it happened. Obviously, let's be fair, banter as well. I think they were having a bit of banter, right? But I think some were generally serious. And no matter if it's banter, no, you don't turn up to a football game with Warburton's toasty bread. It's just no right. It's just that should be for your toaster and for in your belly for a midnight snack.
Can you imagine what he'd have turned up with if he actually used his loaf?
Oh, crazy. But in general, serious, mate, in terms of the football side, I just can't fathom why it's took us to win our cup final for anybody in Scotland to realise how good this team is. Mm-hmm. What in a series, I know we love to laugh and we love to have a bit of joke and a banter, but in a serious chat here, for a footballing chat, how can anybody say that we've not played well, or we've played well, but we're not the best team and we've not got they've got the best strikers, they've got the best forwards, they've got the best defenders, they've got the best goalie, they've got the squad in depth, they've signed all these players, they're out of final, they're 9 points behind, they get absolutely slaughtered in Europe, but yet we've got a shaky defence, we're vulnerable, Ange has been sussed with Gio, and then Michael Beale was meant to have sussed him. Celtic are unbeaten at home under Ange. I think they've only conceded 17 goals, I think, at home since Ange took over as manager. They've not lost a game at him at home. The only defeat he's had at Rangers was his first game at Ibrox, where we were kind of underprepared. We're just a brand new team, basically.
He beat us in the semi last year, I know, didn't he?
But technically, I'm saying that as a draw because we drew the game.
We drew the game in 90 minutes, so we get beat. Aye.
Technically, if you want to call it, we get beat. But in terms of 90 minutes, we've only beat us once. Gio only beat us once, and then Michael Beale still beat us. For talking sake, JP, right? This is a Rangers team again. I'm talking hypothetical. They could lose to us in the league in April. They could lose to us in the semi-final. They could lose to us at Ibrox. They could be 12 or 15 points behind us. No trophies. Could Michael Beale be in danger of his job? I think he could. I genuinely believe he could.
I don't think he will, because I think he's potentially. I think that he'll get the beginning of next season now, because he
in terms of mentally, now bear in mind. I'm just going to talk for your side here, right? We've got a massive chance here to put them into meltdown city, absolute meltdown, and I mean total. They're going to lose the plot, because we could potentially, just for talk's sake, the best thing happened, we won the treble, right? And we win the league with 12, 15 points. They don't beat us in the league until the end of the season. We go unbeaten and everything's rosy in the garden, right? They go into the new season with no Morelos, because he's just about probably going to go. They don't know about Kent. He's going to give Ryan Jack maybe a new deal, who's not performed in a year and a bit. Guys like Kamara don't want to be there. Barisic, he said he's happy there, but he's ever since that season, the one they stopped us, he's been nowhere near it. They're on big wages. They're on a massive rebuild, and we're just getting guys coming to the boil. We're signing guys in the summer, which Ange already said it's already underway. We've heard rumours about us having a wee bit of money to spend this summer. They're going to be shiting themselves, and that's no just. I know I'm not lying here. You know I'm not lying. The Celtic fans know I'm not lying. If we win the league, which we're on to do, if we win the Scottish Cup, we've got that in the bag already. There'll be a lot of that. We've already got a cup. You're qualifying into the Champions League. So that's you get the guaranteed money for the Champions League. And you've got guaranteed season book sales, guaranteed strip sales. You've got all sorts of money. And this is already with us £59 million in the bank. How can you then question what's going to happen next year? But right now, if you look at the facts, which you've got to look at, how can anybody say that Celtic are not favourites to go win the treble? But I know people don't want us. But I know people don't want us to talk about this, because trebles don't just happen overnight. They don't just happen. I've been so lucky, JP, in my Celtic. I was going to say my Celtic career. Me being a Celtic fan, I've basically seen nothing but success. I've seen maybe the odd season without a trophy, the odd maybe one trophy, the odd no win the league. But I've seen us play in the Champions League a few times. I've seen us play unbelievable football at Celtic Park against Rangers and winning trebles, mate. I've seen us win basically 4 trebles in a row. I've seen O'Neill's team win a treble. I've seen my team win 5 trebles. 5 trebles, and it could be 6. It could be 6. It could be 5 and 7 years. That's phenomenal. And that'll get underplayed. It'll get underplayed. Oh, there wasn't much competition for Rangers. Aberdeen were poor. Hearts weren't up to it. Ange's had. Here's a thing for you, right? Talking about facts.
Ange's lucky.
Aye, I'll put this one to yourself, mate, because I know I like to chat, so I'll let you back in. I'll put this one to you, mate, right? Why is it when we were 6 points behind or so last year, 9 points and 12 points, whatever it was, I think it was 6 points. Aye, 6 points. We were 6 points behind. Nobody was saying that Celtic are spending all this money, they've got all this money to spend, they're overpowering every other body in Scotland because they're spending money. But now, because they were 9 points ahead, a trophy in the bag, potentially another treble, potential, it is happening, the Champions League if you win the league, potentially into the Champions League full time for 6 games, at least the group stages. Why now are Celtic, they've got all this money, Ange's got all this at his exposure, it's no fair than everybody else. It's funny that when you're successful, you're well run, that you win trophies, but now, because they were doing that, it's obviously a big hindrance to Scottish football, and now Craig Levein wants Celtic Rangers away. And why is it? Why is it? Because when Celtic are successful, everybody else doesn't. It's Celtic or this, Celtic or that. But when Celtic are not doing well, it's hey, brilliant. Celtic are not doing well. But as soon as everybody else starts to struggle, they've got too much money. They're spending out their means, etc. Every bit of money Celtic spend is money that they're brought in. This is what people only getting. There might be the odd million or two through a loan or what that just happened in football. But
thing is we don't need to explain myself, mate.
No, but they sold Ayer, they sold Christie, they sold Edward, they sold Soros away in loan, Barkas away in loan, Ayeti's away in loan. I can't see his name. He played at Sheffield Wednesday. I can't see his name. I'm not good at names.
Luke Shaw?
No, the right back. Right back.
No, Luke Shaw. The right back. You're a giddy.
Right, he's away in loan.
One of your favourites, isn't he?
Aye. You've got a lot of guys in terms of wages out. We've sold basically the money that we've spent is the money we brought.
That's what I meant.
Liam Shaw. The money we brought in is money that we've spent. So we've no actually had to. It's not what Dermot Desmond's went to Ange. There's £50 million by the way in 2 years. Go and spend it. That's not how Celtic run. Celtic are one of the most well-run clubs in the world, and even during COVID, we just about nearly came to profit. So the facts are, mate, as it stands, listen, see in 6 months' time, the conversation could turn. Something could unbelievable happen, and Rangers are listen, football's a crazy game. But as it stands right now, like me and you have said, and people can gauge up in TikTok, you can gauge up in the public, can gauge up anywhere they want, Facebook, be there. As it stands right now, Celtic are in top in every single capacity. And if you say they're not, I'm going to call you a liar because it's staring you right in the face.
Absolutely. Like I says, mate, league tables and stats and statistics and everything else doesn't tell lies. And you can argue till you're blue in the face. I've heard a guy try to tell me to do it right now, out of the 3 of them. That's just I'll come back to the main point. That's just how crazy the world is, right? Kieran Tierney and Andy Robertson have been picked for this current Scotland squad, right? Over the top of Greg Taylor. Now, my argument there is that Greg Taylor's been the best in for him out of the 3 of them this season. He's winning trophies, he's played in the Champions League, he's doing well, he's playing at a high level, he's a high level Celtic side in a high tempo team. Playing at a high level, setting the bar high. And I've been told, he's playing in the SPFL. It doesn't matter where he's playing. Your international pedigree comes from form at club level. That's why you get picked to play internationally. Now, Kieran Tierney's hardly started a game over the last wee while. I've nothing against Kieran Tierney, you know, he's a big Celtic. I'm a big Celtic fan, so I know he's a great player and exceptional, but Right now, he's not been playing week in and week out. Greg Taylor has. So, in my opinion, that's what needs to happen there. Nobody's going to tell me different, Ryan, that these guys aren't playing at a high level, because they are.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how they're so relentless because of the bar that's set between the coaches, the managers, and the players themselves, and Callum McGregor, because they don't let the standards slip. Now, these guys have played against Real Madrid, Leipzig, Shakhtar Donetsk. They've played in a few derbies. They've won a cup final. They're top of the league. Hopefully, the way things are going, there's 9-10 games left of the season. They're on for winning the league for the second year in a row, under a manager that was only going to last his first Christmas. This is a nonsense that you're hearing and on aside to this. But the overall picture is Celtic are that far ahead, in my opinion, Ryan, that this is why you're hearing this dribble that's getting spouted. And how dare you talk about their players? How dare you talk about, the Celtic team? And how dare you compliment them for doing well? That's what it's like. Because we don't want Celtic to do well. Our narrative doesn't go with our narrative. Our narratives and our loyalties are elsewhere, through the media and through our various different channels. I'm going to come to just what you say there, Ryan, on the actual semi-final itself as well. Patrick makes a great point, and this is something I texted in the chat yesterday before the draw was made. And you can back me up in a second, Ryan, when I put this to you. Patrick says, if we can have... No, it's the wrong one. Patrick, I'll come to that in a second, buddy. We can win this semi-final by thumping them 4 or 5-0 at Celtic Park, I think, and that'll demoralise them. And then Patrick says, if we can average 2 goals a game versus them from our stadium, we should be smashing a few in. So, I said to you, Ryan, if we leather them at Celtic Park the way we did the first time at Celtic Park this season, and it's 3, 4, 5, as Patrick says, whatever it may be, right, and we get them a doing, do you think they're going to want to play us in a few weeks' time? Because potentially, between April and then into the start of May, we could be playing them 3 times within the space of 3 to 4 weeks. So, in my opinion, if we leather them at Celtic Park, as Patrick says, in my opinion, Ryan, their heads just strapped for them, mate. Because people, and you know the way they love to talk, they've come out and says this, and they said that about the final, and they said this before the final, and this was going to happen during the final. And we're still waiting to see any of it. But we knew what we were going to do, because we sat on here, myself and you, with another 2 gentlemen, and we spoke about what we thought Celtic would do. And it happened. But it happened with us not even, in my opinion, getting out of second gear. So, Celtic went to Tynecastle on Saturday, who's supposed to be the 3rd best team in Scotland. Way by the way, way ahead of the rest, and took 3 off them, on anything it possibly wanted to be, or Celtic wanted it to be. Again, Celtic didn't even get out of second gear. Ryan, the quality level between Celtic and the rest of the league is like that. And I'm including them in it, I know. It's like that. The consistency level between Celtic and the rest of the league is like that. That's why, like you said yourself, we're seeing Celtic going for a potential 5th treble in 7 years. Ryan, it doesn't matter what league you're in, right? People might play down our league and they might say, he's only playing anybody. And I'm fed up hearing that nonsense, because you play teams every week. Now, Aye, we don't have the riches of what they've got down in England. And we maybe don't have the, the spectacles of your El Clasicos or, like, aside for the Glasgow derby. The Hibs derby just doesn't have the same appeal to it as maybe the Dortmund and Bayern Munich game would. We don't play in a league like that. But look at Celtic alone, right? Under this manager, it's just, how is it? How do then the rest of the teams, like you says, we're getting into Champions League again? So that's another 6 games guaranteed. You win the league. Now, I'm still saying if you win the league because the league's not finished yet. Like you says, football's a funny old game. But can I see Celtic losing up to 4 games between now and then? No, I can't. We've only lost one in about 18 months. 15, 6, whatever it may be. 15, 18 months, whatever it may be. Between that time scale anyway. And St Mirren are the last team to beat us. We've only lost 1 game this season, Ryan. We're in March. We're nearly hitting the bit where it goes, the league splits.
Mm-hmm.
We've only lost 1 game, mate. The mob that we're talking about, who apparently are better man for man, haven't beat us this season. They were beating us in the Rain Park, but it got to a point where we made substitutes. They came on and made a difference in the game, and that got us a draw. That's probably the best they've played against us, in my opinion, under Ange Postecoglou at Celtic. And they still couldn't beat us, Ryan. But yet the praise goes to Ian Beale because, he never lost. He's unbeaten. I heard somebody saying the other day, we've got better if he came in. And that's probably right, isn't it? Because out with the Celtic games, he's won every other game.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm sorry, when it comes to big games, i.e. cup finals, and winning titles, surely that's where he's going to be judged, Ryan. Surely that's when their fans will say, right, are we up to this or no? This current team, who, like you says, is, Morelos is unfit, Kamara's, he's not there, Barisic is sitting down during games and all that, doesn't want to. I know you started laughing here, mate. For anybody that doesn't believe me, we do have the evidence here, it's there. He sits down during a game, watching Celtic playing. So anybody that thinks these guys have got, the players have came out saying we've lost hunger. The players have came out saying, what was it you says the other day, Ryan? They played Rafe Rovers. What was it Connor Goldson says?
I seen a bit about Goldson. He says we had to make sure we get the set pieces right. You're playing against Rafe Rovers. You should be able to win games without playing against having to play to make sure your set pieces are correct.
So they get beaten in a cup final. Sorry, they get lettered in a cup final, and their captain came out and said sorry. Just sorry. Bearing in mind they get beat by a St Johnstone team, and their fans were waiting outside to leather them. You know what that reminded me? It reminded me of being at school when somebody, when you were arguing with a guy or whatever, and say, I'm going to get you at school gates at home time.
I'll get you
That's what that was like.
I'll get you to co-op at 12:10, right?
I'll get you, that's what I'm saying. But that's what that was like. That's what that reminded me. It's just, many times this season, I know, have you heard them booed off the park? At half-time.
Aye, at half-time.
So you're not even talking about after games, but yet we're supposed to try and believe these guys are actually trying to be real and saying that man for man they're better than us.
I've no doubt that
doesn't add up, Ryan.
He's fixed their issues in terms of no conceding as much, and in terms of away from home they're a bit better, but I don't think they're good to watch. He says that obviously they came out after Again, good performance against Hibs, but one good performance every few games isn't at Celtic Rangers isn't good enough. For me, I generally believe Celtic have had maybe 3 to 4 games that I pushed this year where I thought, wow, we were totally on it. And the two that I can probably say three I can really remember was I think four before maybe. Hibs at home, I think we beat them 6-1. Hibs away, we beat them a good score. The game at Celtic Park and the game at Tannadice.
Mm-hmm.
That's the four off the top of my head that I can think go. That was us at a top of our A game. The rest of the season, I think we've been. I'm not saying complacent, but we've just been plodding on, playing our football, doing what we need to do, and setting gear. Maybe not even third gear, JP. I think just second gear, because I think we're the only team in this country that can go through the gears. And I think McGregor came out the day yesterday. And even he was saying, he says they've still got a lot of gears to go through. And for me, that's scary for Scottish football, that he thinks that they're not been very good this year. He thinks they can go 3, 4, 5 gears up. So I'm really looking forward. For me, JP, it's a very exciting time to be a Celtic fan. Potentially, you could just about end your rival season. They're going to go into a rebuild. You're going to send every other team in Scotland having to look for better players, i.e. your Aberdeens, your Hibs, your Heartseas, and they want to get better because we're going to get better. So they're going to need to get money for places as well to improve, because if we do win the league and we do obviously get into the group stages, just the money that you're going to attract better players. You're going to be able to pay a bit better money, maybe to maybe try and push on and maybe do better in Europe.
Don't tell Ian Beale that we might be spending more money, mate. He'll know.
I think what people need to realise, right? See, if you're successful, you're going to get more ammunition to go and spend money. You're going to be able to attract better players. Rangers had their best season in I don't know how long, and they're still getting share issues. They're still having to get loans, which for me it's absolutely criminal. I know we might not be best of buds with Rangers fans, but in a general football sense, the way that the club is run for the fans, for some of them who go and to spend their money, hard their money, and they try and help their club, etc., they're absolutely getting shot on, by the way, and the board don't care. They're paying. Listen, as much as we don't want to talk about them and they're rivals, but they're still human beings. We still all work for when we watch the football and stuff. They're paying money into their club and they're getting absolutely nothing out of it. They get one of their best seasons ever, and then they've went for that downwards. They've not improved. They went stale. Similar to we maybe went, but I still believe in the 10th season we did improve in terms of the quality of player on paper was good. It just didn't turn out. It just for whatever reason. I just believe, JP, right now we're in a very good position, but you can't get complacent. I don't think you can get. I don't think the manager will let him get complacent, because he'll dump into them. It's the next game. Right? If we draw, right, okay, right, relax, right, next game. Let's fix it in training. We go again. But see, even if we were to draw again, JP, you might think, oh, right, maybe that's our 7 now. Oh, right, okay. You just go, right, okay, we'll get it back 2 or 3 weeks' time, because you know how they're going to react to it.
Yeah.
They're winners. Last year, there's no many winners in that team. Joe Hart, Man City, you've got McGregor, you've got all these guys who are now the winners. They've won trophies now. They played at a high level. So I just think last year, mate, for me, obviously we didn't know about Ange, but then when you see what he started to do and you seen what was happening, you knew something was going to. It was coming to the boil. And I totally agree with you in terms of the mental block. I'm a big believer that game at Celtic Park where we beat them 3-0?
Aye. A year ago in February.
I genuinely believe that absolutely rattled him. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion. I totally believe it's put a big block on him. To then go and get beat 4-0 at Celtic Park, to then to come back and get a draw against you, to then now beat in a final. Mm-hmm. Eventually, this is why another reason why you need to refresh your squad. You need to go and look for winners, guys who are going to fight, guys who are fresh, want a new challenge, because that, let's be fair, as much as we don't want it, if you buy fresh players with new impetus and want a new challenge, it's going to make game better. It's going to get the fans, all right, okay, maybe we'll do better this year, new blood, new faces, new investment. But if you're going to keep the same players who lost the league the year before, how do you expect them to go, right, okay, we need to then go and improve? Guys who, 9 times out of 10, guys who lost the league before, unless they have an absolute miracle, an uplift, how do they then go and improve 2 and 3 gears? Doesn't matter who the manager is, because they're another year older. Guys like Davis, McGregor, another year older. Ryan Jack, bad injuries. Roof's injured out for the season, injury prone. But then look at us. We're improving all the time. Our players are improving. Even our squad players are improving. So, for me, for the rest of the league, mate, I think it's a scary time, for my opinion, for the rest of the league. And I just don't think the rest of Scottish football league has been successful. Again, I try and be balanced, mate, as I can. I really do. But the older I'm getting now, and I wouldn't say I'm wiser, because I still feel like a wee boy inside. But when you look at things, Mel, now, and you just think, why? Sorry, like today, I seen a headline about Scott McDonald today about the helicopter. Why is that just coming out now? That happened years ago. Why is this getting brought back up again? Why is there things, again, that's nothing against Scott, but why is the media having to put this out? Like, why are they coming to him and wanting this out? And again, the media will want headlines. There'll be something can move, mate. It'll be Morelos has got to Seville and what a move from, and they'll get the money to go and try and beat Celtic.
But they're not getting any money because he's a freebie.
Aye, that's what I mean. But
so if they try and spin that they're going to get paid money, they're no.
But they'll spin it on a sense that he's away now, and then they can get somebody else fresh in, and Kolak will now take the mantle. Raskin, and listen, obviously we spoke to Barry, and he's played with Cantwell against him. Sorry, and he says he's a good player, so take that as gospel. But they're saying that Raskin and Cantwell, they're no world beaters. They're maybe good players. I can't comment. I've not really seen much of them. But they 2 players aren't just automatically going to beat Celtic. You've still got the same guys who have been beat the last 2 to 3 games. Heavily beaten. So, just on our squad, mate, it's looking good. The recruitment going forward.
Yep.
Obviously, Ange's come out and says that he's already gone to that. He's already looking forward to that already.
Yep.
Which for me is phenomenal recruitment.
Yep.
The other side haven't even offered contracts yet. So for me, if they're not gave their squad contracts, I'd very doubt that they're already in the making of signing guys. Because if they've not gave their squad players the new a contract or spoke to them, so he says anyway. In terms of us, mate, I can maybe see a few going on in the summer, but as it stands right now, mate, it's a big semi-final game, mate. As much as we are the better team, it is a semi-final, and we all know anything can happen. But if we turn up to a game, mate, in any game in Scotland, if we turn up, there's only one winner. It's going to take us to drop off a wee bit for teams, in my opinion, to really take anything off you. And listen, these guys on the robots, they can have off days. We've seen that against St Mirren and stuff. Right. So we've seen that against Livingston, I think, the season before.
They don't seem to have many, though, right?
They don't have many, but it can happen. And teams will be hoping that they'll be having some off days, or guys don't turn up to their game. But as it stands,
just teams, media and pundits and everything else that are all taking other teams to win leagues and everything begins the seasons and stuff like that, you know.
I'm just excited, mate, about going forward. As a just look back at 18 months ago, roughly, so we didn't know who was coming in and stuff like that. And now we're talking about another treble.
Yep.
Maybe, possibly, again, I need to say that, possibly. It's a good position, mate, as a club. But again, I know Ange and the players won't take it lightly where they are. They'll keep trying to progress. They'll keep trying to go forward. And it's basically just saying to the rest of Scottish football, catches. Because take away one season, mate, and it's too close to have an absolute downfall for teams to catches and get closer to us. So you can only see Celtic getting better, mate. But then that gives you the rest of the Scottish football. Right, this is what Celtic are doing. Right, what can we maybe do better to try and get better players? Is it money? Is it recruitment? Is it the way we're scouting guys? I just think the way Celtic are gone, mate, under Ange, I'll put my neck out and I'll say this. I just find it very hard. I know football's a crazy game and anything can happen, but I find it very hard how we don't win more than the league under Ange, because unless they get a big investment from maybe Far East or abroad somewhere, you find it very, very how they're going to progress in terms of money. So, in my opinion, mate, we're just going to go forward financially. We're going to go forward as a club, as in stature in the Champions League. Hopefully, the calibre player you're going to attract is going to be better. So, all in all, mate, it's all rose in the garden that stands right now.
Definitely, mate. And I'm glad you brought up recruitment, Ryan, because obviously they're ex-players or new pundits have liked what's been on show and liked time in Big Angie's company, that a certain individual seemed to have dyed his hair and bought Danny McGrain's strip off him. I'm not too sure if he suits that or no. I'll leave that out there to the guys that are watching us. What do you think yourself, Ryan? I'm not too sure he suits it, to be honest. What I'm actually surprised at, he looks a wee bit bigger on the telly, so I'm actually quite surprised that he managed to fit into Danny's shirt, to be honest. I'm actually surprised Danny gave it to him as well, so fair play to Danny for that one. But no, just on recruitment, Ryan, obviously Celtic have added over the last week or two. They have added to their scouting network and brought in a guy called Joe Dudgeon from the City Group, who has worked closely before with Matt Lowell. So you can imagine this guy's going to have a right good pedigree, especially coming for that company as well, because they seem to have a lot of success in what they do. So it's still effectively happening right now. Celtic are adding all the time. So these wee steps, mate, are all steps that, that are going to keep us ahead and going to, take us, that one step further again. And like you says, Ryan, and Ange has got this bit about him, mate, where he seems to have this team putting his foot to the flare and, battering teams out their way. So, no, it's going to be very difficult. But obviously, my next point, Ryan, obviously there's been a lot of talk over the last week about Scott Brown and his event that's coming up now with Mikael Lustig and the Hydro. And Scott, obviously, as a guy I felt really sorry for the season you love bringing up, but I don't like talking about it. I think he deserved better that season, Ryan. I think a lot of people let him down as well. Guys like him and Callum McGregor were, really, really trying hard and, weren't getting it back off certain individuals. So I do think that, he deserved better. And I think it's nice that the club have invited him back to take part in the event for him and Mikael Lustig, because they were two fantastic servants to the club, Ryan, who, in my opinion, didn't get a proper chance to say cheerio. I've got a wee clip here for everybody. And obviously this is Scott chatting about a wee bit about his current Celtic side, and obviously more down to Callum McGregor taking over the mantle from him.
Celtic are doing.
What was that, sorry?
How much are you still able to keep up colours with your former club Celtic are doing?
Yeah, it's to be fair, in our coaches' room, there's a slight divide. So there's a few. There's me and the goalie coach, both Celtic, and there's Baz Nick and there's Stephen Whittaker Rangers. So believe me, we seem to be watching a lot of Scottish football as well, and I always watch Celtic, I always watch for the scores as well, and if the game's on telly I try and watch it as much as I possibly can.
Another success for Celtic in the League Cup final triumph over Rangers. That's another trophy lift for Callum McGregor. What do you make of the job he's done since you kind of left your role there, Scott?
Yeah, I always knew Cal was the right one for the job. He loves the club, he wants to be here, he's came all the way through the youth, and he knows what the fans want and expect as well, and that's a huge thing for a captain of a football club. And probably when I got thrown into the role when I was a lot younger, I was a little bit naive at the time, but Cal understands because he's went through those stages. He's went and earned his badges going out on loan, then came back in and fought for his place, and quite rightly so he should be captain of this club, because the way he conducts himself, his energy about the building, his personality, and he's a born winner as well.
Lastly from me, Scott, that's 17 major honours for him, closing in on your 22. If he stays clear of injury, do you think he can surpass your milestone?
I would love him to, yeah, but I think the good old cliche, one at a time, just concentrate in the league and concentrate on the cup coming up, and it's not about looking too far into the future, it's about him maintaining his form, which he's doing.
Well, as he says there, Ryan, he's 17 honours Callum McGregor's won, and Scott obviously won 22. As it looks anyway, I think Callum might beat that in the next couple of seasons, let alone anything else, mate. I don't see anything standing in Callum's way not to beat that record over time. He's obviously got age in his favour as well, if he can stay injury free, as Ramin Badwar asked Scott there. I don't think anybody would decry Callum of taking that, putting that notch on his bedpost, mate, to be honest, and overtaking Scott Brown. But it's good to hear Bruni obviously still watches us, because he's a manager now, so obviously you would think he would be still busy with his time, but he obviously stuck a wee bit of banter in there and mentioned that it's him and his goalie coach versus Barry Nicholson and Stephen Whittaker, obviously two ex-Rangers players. So I think Scott Brown was a remarkable captain for his rank. I think he was a very successful captain. When he came into the Celtic side, when he was bought for $4 million with Gordon Strachan, I think a lot of Celtic fans were like, "But who's this boy? This boy's a maniac." Like when he first came into the team, and they saw what he was like, but then what he developed into and what he done, he built a legendary status with us, and Callum McGregor's well on his way to doing the same, mate.
In my opinion, mate, Scott Brown was a fantastic footballer. Not just a captain, he was a fantastic footballer. No, really, again, I don't know the full opinion of Celtic fans about Scott Brown, but I know for the majority I've spoke to, they all class him as a very good footballer, not just a captain. I think for the outside of Celtic, because he's not on your team, you're always not that good, and all he does is tackle and shout in people's face. No, that's the way he plays. That's a born winner. He's an absolute born winner. The mentality is to fight for his team, desire, well, to win. Some teams haven't got that. We've had that for years, and now we've got that under McGregor. For me, Scott Brown, JP, was phenomenal. Not just a leader on the park, but off the park. A lot of people speak him out very highly, and that's not something that people just do just because he's Scott Brown. They do it because there's a reason why. For me, it was absolutely crucial to our success, especially the season under Rodgers. For me, that was one of the best seasons I've seen for a Celtic midfielder. It was phenomenal. I think he's either his past. I think his pass interceptions or something like that in the Champions League was the best that season. But yet that goes under the radar because it's Scott Brown, because it's Celtic, more kind of minnows in terms of Europe. No minnows, but in terms of doing things in Europe, we're no spoke about in terms of really doing the best of results. But stature, we're high as a kite. But in terms of the way results wise, obviously we've won the major competition. But in terms of this team, current crop, we're not really we're playing Celtic. We're playing Celtic because of the atmosphere and everything else. But Scott Brown for me was brilliant, mate, and Mikael Lustig as well. he was a 7 to 8, a 10 every week. Very, very reliable. Always on his game. Aye, he was maybe his latter stage. Maybe he was maybe losing a bit of his legs, but that's just normal when you get older. I still personally said we should have kept him for another year, and maybe used him sparingly. Like we should have with Scott Brown, but I think Scott Brown had to play because of the way the team was. I don't think we had the capacity to drop him, but I think he was maybe mismanaged. But again, that's Scott maybe tell you differently. I don't know, but I can only say for a fan. But for me, mate, he was a phenomenal player, and Lustig was brilliant, mate. I loved him. And McGregor's for me, I don't want to say world class, mate, but he's borderline getting there. He's brilliant, mate. Like you've said, mate, I don't like selling my players, but he could easily play down south, no bother, for just about every team. I'm not saying every week, but definitely they are a lot of stuff down there, mate. So, that'll be a good night for him to see to the fans as well, mate, and some of the fans to go up and close and personal and hear some of the good stories about playing with Celtic.
Yes, aye, definitely, Ryan. Like I says, mate, I thought that season he deserved miles better than, what he got. I'm on Lustig, to be honest. The way Lustig left as well, it seemed a bit sour, and it just all happened pretty quickly. People were asking, how can he no stay? How can he no do this? And then obviously, you found out that, you hear all these different rumours. Is it contractual reasons? Is it this? Is it that? And the player then comes out and speaks himself and says that, the hierarchy or members of the hierarchy, sort of move goalposts, etc. And, tried to, in certain situations, didn't happen. So, which was a shame because, don't get me wrong, I mean, these guys were aging as well. So I think a bit of reality had to hit home as well in terms of, what kind of contract were you looking for, or, because we've always been big on it, Ryan. You need to stay progressive.
Yep.
And you need to stay proactive and not reactive. So at that time, Ryan, we all knew, we predicted even then that, we could see a rebuild coming for us as well. The end of the cycle was coming, and, and effectively, initially, that's probably a big reason as to why that season went the way it did as well. But I just thought they two individuals needed a wee bit, or deserved a wee bit more, especially for the, the career they had at the club, and, all the sweat and guts that they gave the club, and
I think it was
they gave us a lot of big days. No, it's all right, mate. No, they gave us a lot of big days as well.
I think it was unfortunate as well. It was during, obviously, a terrible time in the world. That didn't help as well, which is unfortunate as well, I thought.
No, the sheer timing of that was really bad, mate. Obviously, there was no fans in the stadium as well to see it. So, no, as I say, and then obviously, as you mentioned, Ryan, Ange is looking to go again in the summer. So we're now hearing, we've read articles, stating that Dermot Desmond has already agreed this financial package with Ange that, is going to let us kick on again. And why would they not back him? Because if this is a guy that's not motivated by money for himself, and he's not motivated by long-term contracts. And a lot of your fans are, we need to get him tied down. Ange has already stated that he'll be around as long as Celtic want him. So there will come a point in time where he'll go and he'll move on. But he's not going to jump at the first offer of the English Premier League. The way the media would have you believe he's nearly took every job Tom, Dick and Harry's offered us. Because apparently he was going to Brighton, and that never happened. Then he was going to Leeds, and that never happened. I think I seen his name linked to the Watford job, that never happened. Then all of a sudden his name's appeared because Conte's, something's happened down there, he's not happy, he might be leaving, blah, blah, blah. That's not happened either. And Ange has already stated in an interview that I think people will be surprised at how long he'll be here. So I think we can put that one on the back burner. Like you say yourself, Ryan, we spoke to Dan, and we've heard that, obviously the Japanese players coming as well. I don't think Ange is the type of guy to bring these boys here and then say to them after a year or so after doing it, right boys, I'll see you later, I'm Oski. enjoy yourselves, because they would be like, right, what the hell's going on? And obviously, why would they want to leave if Celtic are back in the Champions League straight away? Right away, you've got a big carrot there. So, and I think he'll want to try and progress his sale as a manager and do that. So I think we could put that one in the back burner. And then obviously there's a fixture being linked. It's been announced by Yokohama Mariners for July, where they are going to take on Celtic. So we await final confirmation of that, but they're not having that at Shilks and Juniors, mate. Do you know what I mean? So I know you're laughing, mate, but you know what I mean. But Ange isn't going to all of a sudden no be here for that.
Mhm.
He's already spoke highly of. He would love that for that to happen, for Celtic to go to Japan. So I don't think Big Ange is in any hurry to make an exit for the Celtic Park doors, as much as our darling media in this country are dying for him to do so. This is a guy also that they predicted would be the new Pedro Caixinha of the league. You've never seen Big Ange standing in bushes arguing with fans. You've never seen Big Ange talking about caravans moving and dogs barking and doing tactics with water bottles and what was the one he says? I know the first one. Can we not just get Brendan on FaceTime and we'll do this together? Remember that?
I remember
Can we
that.
not
Aye.
just get Brendan on FaceTime and we'll do this together? Dear Pedro, I actually miss the guy. I really do. I miss his when he big sitting asses on me about if Celtic are the benchmark, what one of the Celtic team when you says you're the best team in the league, what one of the Celtic players wouldn't get in your team? And he said, I would say I was, my team is the best team in the country, even if I was the manager of Ross County. This is what I'm saying. How can you get serious with these dudes? This is the kind of guys we have had to endure over the last few years.
It's like Pedro got that Cena still game. Good players, just tired.
Aye.
Good horses,
Winston.
good
Aye.
horses.
Aye.
Just tired.
And he's and then you hear all this nonsense about that he was on our books 8 years ago prior to it as a scout for like abroad in the South American region. And you think to yourself, is that true or is it no? Because if that was true, what a laugh that would have been. Like, in all honesty. And I don't know. And then you hear all this nonsense as well, Jamie Sands, there's another one, right? Dear Jamie, who apparently was a utility player and he could play 3 or 4 positions. But what Mr. Ray alluded to the fact is he might have been able to play the positions, but he wasn't good at any of them. So, but yet he had his, what was it he says? He had his doubts, and he was very dubious about Rio Hatate's services and what Rio Hatate could actually do. I don't know. This is what I'm saying, Ryan. About we have a laugh and a carry on, mate. But that being real, this has came out in the media. This has came out live on talk show hosts, media interviews.
Jolly Boy John is for real.
Jolly Boy John is for real, aye.
But Alex has been having too many
You
chocolate
just want
bananas.
Harry Cool and somebody to burst into their pressers and go, up the road!
Up the road.
Up the road! Up the road!
He'll get to 11 points and what? 11! They'll be the lift in Murray Park. 11!
11, aye. If you don't understand the lingo away back came to your own country.
Aye. Brilliant,
Aye.
man.
How can you be racist to a lift, Mr. Bleeding Heart?
Brilliant, man.
Superb. But that's where you are. That's where we are. That's the time being. But obviously, moving forward, mate, what is your overall thoughts and your aspirations?
Aspirations, mate, to win the treble. That's what you've got to go for. But that's me being greedy and that's me thinking too far in the future. Like a former captain says, you take game by game. So just won the game at the weekend, mate. I'm sure it's Habs at home. You just go and win the game. And then progress, mate. Just keep winning football games. And like you say, mate, every game we win, we tick it off and we try and move forward to the next game. And hopefully all the players stay healthy and no injuries. And we just keep going the way we're going, because I think for me, JP, I think the game that's going to, I'm not saying it will determine, it will probably determine the season. It's probably the game at Celtic Park. If you win that, then you can just about say that, barring injuries, and really, the league's just about nearly there. So, but until then, mate, that's another few weeks away. So you need to just keep winning games. That's it, mate. Just keep winning games. Keep going forward. Keep noting the games off the list, and just mate. Just keep moving forward and winning games.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. Like I said to you, I did say this to you around about Christmas time line. This is what I love to call the business end of the season, and this is where the cream always rises. When there's trophies to be handed out, and this is where you want Celtic in the thick of it, and you want Celtic in about it to be there with an opportunity to lift the trophies. And so far this season, as it stands now, we've won one. We're in a semi-final with the Knicks. Don't want to go too far ahead of ourselves. We're only in a semi, but you win that, you're looking at another final. You're 9 points clear in the league. Aye, as a fan base, why can we not talk about the possibility of what's going to happen at the outcome of this season? Because you won that semi-final. Let's be honest, you're going to win the league if things are continuing the way they are. So, if by an almighty crash it's going to take for that not to happen, mate. But I'm the same as you, Ryan. Fit to the flare. Let's try and get it done. Use our squad wisely the way Big Ange has been doing. I think the players are all chomping at the bit, and I think some of them can smell blood as well, mate, in terms of, the important games, the big games. They all look forward to this. Boys like Haskabanovic and, hungry, want to show their talents. Jota, turning up when it matters for the team. Doing the hard runs, chasing things when he could have done. I might have looked to there's the one against Michael Smith for the weekend, where he runs in, takes the ball off him and leaves him stunning like a wee schoolboy looking for his mummy and daddy at the school gates. He just runs away from him. So, aye, I'm with you, mate. I'm just totally, and the 5-sub thing as well, Ryan's killing teams, totally killing teams as well.
But because we were successful now and we've got a squad that can do that, they're wanting 3 subs.
Who said that?
I think I seen somebody. I seen it a tweeting somebody the other day. Something I wish to get the rule back to 3 subs to help the. That's why Celtic winning game. Well, it doesn't matter if it's 5 subs or 3 subs. You're still bringing on the same guys.
Mm-hmm. So, that is very, very important, folks. That you take head to this and you stay away from these wee magical tablets, because they do really, really nasty things with your head. They send your thought channels and processes wild, and you never know. You might turn up to a football match with a Warburton's loaf packet and tap your head. So, I don't know. These wee disco biscuits are definitely ones to stay away from, because they are bad for your health. But on that note, Ryan, it's been a pleasure chatting with you again, mate. It's always good to come on here and hear your thoughts on what's going on. Just before we go, folks, if any of you aren't watching, obviously, or maybe get one eye on it, it's now 6-0 to Man City on the 84th minute, and Erling Haaland has scored 5 of the goals. So, as far as I'm led to believe, he's broke Champions League history now.
But yet he's not improved Man City.
Yeah, I know. I heard that as well. That's ludicrous. But
scary.
That's going on just now, and there's still another 6 minutes, plus added on time, whatever's going to be. Everybody that's listened in and watched us tonight, guys, I thank you very, very much. I'm sorry I can't get through everybody's comments. There's that many, but I do get to see them all, so I don't want you thinking that you're being ignored. That's not the case. Myself and Ryan are on all social media platforms, guys. Should any of you want to reach out for a gab, myself and Ryan's Twitter handle's been put up on the screen for you. Now, when I say a gab, I mean anytime you're maybe feeling down, or maybe something's bugging you, or maybe even if you want to talk about Celtic, you can reach out because we're available to chat to. Please do not sit in silence, and please do not sit yourself, because it's one of the worst things in the world that you can do. And sometimes people might not want to speak to somebody that's very close to them in their life. You know, they might want to have a chat with a strange face. And if you watch us long enough on here, you'll know that we're a friendly bunch on here as well. So please do and reach out to us. Again, myself and Ryan are all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well. And the Celtic Unrestricted View page is on all those platforms as well. On the YouTube channel, guys, if anybody on here tonight is new to the channel, then we welcome you. Thanks very much for tuning in. If you like the content, guys, please click the wee bell and the subscribe button. It's totally free to do it, so it doesn't cost you any money. Myself and Ryan, basically, all that does for you is let you know when we're live. So when this page goes live, that gives you a notification as to when it does, and then you can come on and get to watch your big, nice, smiley, happy faces as we seem to be just now. You probably see a lot of you wearing hoodies now because obviously it's -9 in Glasgow at the moment. Again, for anybody that thinks I'm talking rubbish or, maybe talking out of turn, here it's here. Look, it's definitely -9 in Glasgow. So look at the league table. That doesn't tell lies. But yeah, as I said, anybody wanting to find out more about the page or anything that maybe be coming up, because we do have another announcement that will be made tomorrow. We do have a guest joining us tomorrow, but that will get announced tomorrow. And that's at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. So, but obviously the name of that guest will be announced tomorrow, folks. But yeah, we will put everything for the YouTube channel in the community section on the YouTube channel on my page. So all you need to do is go into the community and you'll see any updates. It's myself and Ryan that have got full access to that as well. So we look forward to the game against Hibs on Saturday. I'll be back on Friday, guys, with the regular goal rush. Ryan, I nearly forgot that. It's absolutely terrible. Really bad. Really bad, mate. I forgot about that. Right in my head, because I'm thinking of other things as well. So, no, I'll be back on Friday, guys, and I'll see you all then. If I don't see you before it. Hope everybody manages to stay safe in this really bad weather wherever you stay in the country. And yeah, hail, guys. Cheers.
Hail. Take care. Thanks for all the comments and views. And again, like JP says, anybody needs a chat, we're always here and we want to help anybody we can.
Cheers again, guys. Thank you.
Cheers. A big milestone for the captain as well. Considering obviously where we were a wee while ago, didn't know who the captain was going to be. A few, including myself, wasn't sure about McGregor. I was kind of saying Julian and all that, and you weren't really sure who was going to come in as manager to start off with, and then who would be the captain. Obviously, because let's be fair, anybody who follows Scott Brown, it's always going to be a hard task to follow the way he was as a person, as a player and as a captain.
Yep.
Not